Hi, my name is Gokul Narayan. I'm a lead faculty with the Asian School of Cyber Laws. And in this very quick video, I'm going to try and address some of the controversies that have arisen with respect to Twitter in terms of compliance with the new IT guidelines that have come out in 2021. Now, as per the guidelines, significant social media intermediaries like Twitter are expected to undertake certain compliance-related issues, which includes appointments of certain grievance redressal officers as per the rules under the guidelines. Twitter has failed to do so. In fact, the date of compliance which was mentioned in the guidelines was 25th of May. So they should have complied and had officers in place by the 26th of May. An extension or a relaxation was given on this apparently, and they were given time till 6th of June to comply with the said requirement. However, the latest sources seem to suggest that this compliance has still not been done, or even if it has been done, it has not been communicated with the government. The question that arises out of this entire controversy is how and what is Twitter's liability in this regard? For this, let's very quickly just overview the provisions of the Information Technology Act and the related guidelines to understand the situation. Twitter, first of all, falls into the category of an intermediary as defined under Section 2, Subclause W of the Information Technology Act. Section 2, Subclause W very plainly reads that any entity which deals with third-party data or information in terms of receiving it, storing it, or transmitting it automatically becomes an intermediary. And Twitter falls into this category, and therefore Twitter is an intermediary. Now, with respect to intermediaries, under Section 79, there is a safe harbor which has been created. This safe harbor primarily protects the intermediary from any action being taken against such intermediary for any communication link, data, or information made available by such intermediary on its platform, which is hosted by a third party. Now, this is not a blanket safe harbor that has been created, but is subject to rules and provisions of subclause 2 and 3. The relevant part of subclause 2, which is applicable to the given scenario, is subclause 2, subclause C, which states that the intermediary must comply with government guidelines that have been put up in this regard and exercise due diligence. The question over here is not with respect to due diligence as much as it is with respect to the compliance of guidelines. And these guidelines specifically are the 2021 intermediary guidelines. The intermediary guidelines, however, also very specifically state under Rule 7 that if there is a non-compliance with the guidelines, then the applicable immunity will be taken away and they will be liable under any law which the intermediary therefore violates. As per reports available through the media, Twitter has been booked under certain provisions of the IPC like Section 120B, Section 34, Section 153, Section 153 and a few more. Some of these provisions have imprisonment of 5 years and more, which basically makes the offences non-bailable and cognizable. So the question is, what is the liability that Twitter faces? Now, if the reports and the information which is available in the media is correct and accurate, and Twitter has failed to comply with the guidelines which had been prescribed by the government under Section 79, then the immunity available to it under Section 79 subclause 1 will no longer be available to it. Now, this has to be read with Section 85 of the Information Technology Act, which states about offenses committed by companies. Now, if there is an offense which is committed by a company, then the people in charge of the functioning of the company can be made liable. So let me end with this. This is not a legal opinion. It's basically a discussion that I thought all of us could engage in on this platform. So feel free to write into us and let us know what you feel. If you have a different opinion, if you think there are other provisions of the Information Technology Act or the IPC that could be applicable, if you have any other news which is relevant to the circumstance right now, feel free to share it with us. Write to us in the comments below. And thank you so much for viewing this video.